welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 81. And my name is Jason Erpeling. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and Buy and Sell DVC.com.
Today is August 24th, 2022. Your 11-month window is going to be July 24th, 2023. And the 7th-month window is March 24th, 2023. As always, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we do have a Facebook group. I mean, have I covered everything, I think?
Yeah, I think so. Again, the Facebook group is Disney Vacation Club Resales DVC. So just all the keywords are in there. Disney Vacation Club Resales DVC.
And we're going to start with a buy and sell DVC side of things. I just want to mention a few things. Number one is, if you want to list your property with us, we do have an open listing. It's not an exclusive listing. It's an open listing. And then the other thing is that there's no set time that you have to list your property for. So, you don't have to say, list it for 90 days or anything like that. Because some people, it happened more during, 2020, where there was different situations going on. They would list their property, a buyer hadn't been found. And then we had a seller that had lost their job, but then they quickly found a new job. So then they took the property off the market. So, if something changes and you want to take your property off the market, as long as a buyer hasn't been found, you can take your property off the market. And again, we don't have a certain amount of time that you have to list the property for. And really, I don't mean to, I try to look at everything, all around. So let's say, I guess I'm saying is, let's say you want to list my house for sale, right?
Okay.
And you say that I have to list it for 90 days. Okay. So let's say after 2 weeks, something changes and I no longer want to list my house for sale. I guess I don't, if you say that, you can't take it off the market. Well, I feel like I could just call you up and and then list it for, $3 million higher than what it's listed for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is we're here to help you. You need to be helped. You have a property that you want to sell. We're going to help you sell it. Something changes. You need to keep it. We don't have language that's going to force you to sell the property.
Yeah, you're not locked into anything.
Yeah.
You don't know what's a penalty or anything like that. It's just it's open. If something happens and changes, as long as we haven't already sold the contract, just call Jason, let us know. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because another company, or a seller the other day said, I just spoke to another company. They said it had to list it for 90 days, and I said, well. Again, I use the same scenario. Let's say you list it with them and something happens and you no longer want to list it at all.
I was wondering why you were mentioning this. I didn't know this story. So.
And I said to them, I'm like, okay, so let's say you have your property listed at market value. You no longer want to sell the property, but they say you have to list it for this amount of time. I'm like, why can't you just call them up and say, okay, list my property for $450 a point?
Yeah, something ridiculous that it's not going to sell or heck, if it does sell, take the $450 a point.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like it seems silly to me. I feel like there's all sorts of ways around it. So it's like what's the movie with Jerry Maguire? Help me, help you. We're just trying to help you sell your property. It's a team. When it comes to selling your property, we're working with you, not against you. So
that sounds silly. It makes no sense to do that.
Yeah. And, so I just wanted to let you know we're here to definitely help you sell your property, and we'll be happy to get it sold for you. Any questions, you can always reach out to me, Jason at buyandselldvc.com. Again, the website is buyandselldvc.com. And now we're moving on to the food review of the week.
Before we hit the food review, I'm going to throw out the phone number of the company as well, 407-906-3789, 407-906-3789.
There's a lot of things to remember this week. The Facebook group name, the phone number.
I started giving the phone number for the other company for DVC Rental, so sorry about that. But, yep. So, yep. Let's go to food review.
Food review.
Ty, roll the credits.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So last week's food review, we went back to Disney World because we had so much Disneyland stuff to do. I'm back at Disneyland because there's just too many different foods that we tried. But to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to do a twofer on this one. So this one was at Jack Brennan's Jazz Kitchen, which is in downtown Disney at Disneyland. It said Jack Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. Ralph Brennan's. I keep writing Jack. Oh, Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. I was thinking Jack Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which is at Disney Springs. So I don't know why I wrote that. But anyway, so we went with, as you know, we went with
One of our producers,
got a microphone sitting there going, it's Ralph, jerk. Ralph, you're screwing it up, Scott. So not a big deal. Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. We went with a couple different groups, as you probably are aware, and all of us picked like different restaurants that we wanted to go to. And Chris Malick, who you know, picked Ralph Brennan's. And this was the one that brought a little bit of hesitation because it's a Cajun-style restaurant, so it's going to have some spice and some different flavors that not everybody was accustomed to. But it was a very cool restaurant, fun inside. Bathrooms were like bayou themed, so it was like alligators and like all different, like you're in a swamp in the bathroom. So really, really just, it was like a fun restaurant. So again, I'm doing two on this one. Before I go on about this, what was really cool about them is that we asked them, we're a little concerned about the spice and the heat. And they said that essentially the whole menu, besides 3 items, don't ask me which 3 items, can be modified to take the spice out of it. So that's fantastic. That's wonderful.
So I guess, not to get too deep into, so was it your concern? There's 4 in your family. Was it all 4?
Well, there was 13 of us.
Okay.
And I know my wife does not like a lot of spice and heat. The Murrays did not like a bunch of spice and heat. My kids wouldn't have liked it either, but I think they're mostly going off. Well, one was going off the kids' menu. You got a nice burger there. So that wasn't the issue. But like for my wife as well, that was one of her main concerns. And they said, again, besides these 3 items, we could do anything without spice and heat. So very accommodating, just so you know. I had the normal, spiced pasta jambalaya, which is, it says New Orleans favorite, Jazz Kitchen signature dish, Gulf shrimp, andouille sausage, roasted chicken, Creole seasoning with a spinach fettuccine, $34.50. I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It had a very thin sauce to it. Again, I think this might be the first time I've ever had pasta jambalaya. So it's not something that's, I'm too familiar with, so I can't really compare it against other jambalayas I've had in the past. I thought it was pretty decent. I probably wouldn't order it again. Spicy, it wasn't too memorable. I ate about half. I'm a big guy, I like to eat. I ate about half of it. I give it a 6.2. It wasn't bad, but it's nothing.
Half of it because it was too much, or?
No.
Oh,
The reason I ate half of it is because I was busy stealing my wife's food.
Oh.
I was pretty much done anyway. And she saw that I didn't really want any more of it. I think she sacrificed herself a little bit. She doesn't eat as much as me, but I think she wanted hers because she had the blackened chicken mac and cheese. So it's applewood smoked bacon, caramelized onions, oven roasted tomatoes, baby arugula, penne pasta, smoked Gouda cream sauce, and rosemary garlic ciabatta bread for $32. Again, this one was done without the spice to it. This was probably the best food I've eaten anywhere in months. Absolutely fantastic. Creamy bacon with the smoked Gouda. I mean, I would eat this daily if I could, and I wouldn't put on 100 pounds. I give this a 9.7.
Wow.
I mean, this by far blows away anything I've ever rated on here. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. So, I don't know what it would have been like with the spice, but without the spice, this dish was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I know my wife loved it as well. So they did a killer job on this. 9.7.
Nice. And now we're on to the DVC-Rental side of things.
So I want to add on to what Jason brought up a couple weeks ago with moving to Florida. So I moved to Windermere, Florida from New Jersey a little over 6 years ago. We picked Windermere as it was known for having some of the better school districts near Disney. And we're right by Disney. The house is probably about a 3-minute drive to being on Disney property. Now that's not like getting into the front gate of one of the parks, but on Disney property in 3 minutes. When we moved here, it was a very up and coming area. There was a lot of construction still being done, not as much restaurants or shopping or anything. And over the last 6 years, it's become a lot busier. Both Winter Garden and Windermere, which are next door to each other, they've been booming places. So they were not super well established, and they've just been continuing to grow and grow. And with so many people coming in, there's also been a huge influx of elementary schools and middle schools and high schools that they've added every single year. They're adding more schools on because there's so many people coming to this area. Now, I absolutely love the location here. The prices have gone up dramatically since we bought the house. A lot of it was going up, and then, as the housing market has just gone up in the past 2 years or so, it's spiked even more. So it's tougher to recommend Windermere just because it's become really, really pricey. But I mean, we really love the area, and I have a list here, and I always find this amusing because there's a lot of famous people who live in Windermere, and it's not my area. They're not next door to me. Again, they're like in a gated community, 5-10 minutes away. But Shaquille O'Neal, Britney Spears, Joey Fatone. If you're for a sports guy, Barry Larkin, Tiger Woods, Bubba Watson, Ken Griffey Jr. Grant. I'm just off the top of my head. Grant Hill. Like there's just a lot of sports people.
Now Shaq sold his house, right?
Shaq sold his house. I think he was asking like $22 million for it. I think it ended up selling for like 15 or something like that. I figured one of your family members probably bought it, so I didn't.
So do you know about his house or no?
I've driven by his house many times.
Okay.
I saw some of the stuff like listed when it was for sale. Like he's got a big he's got a big pool with a big Superman logo in it. And the guy who cleans my pool said he used to clean Shaq's pool as well. He has like TVs built into the walls of the pool, inside the pool. Like underwater, there's TVs built into the walls in the pool.
Because he has a Superman statue on his dock. I mean, when he owned the house,
yes.
There's a Superman statue on his dock. So my son and I, we went kayaking there, and then you come around the corner in the Shaq's house, and of course, I'm sure Shaq wasn't there. So I'm like, just get out. And so I have a picture.
Climb on the statue.
So yeah, I have a picture of my son next to the statue on his dock.
Actually, on the dock?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You're lucky. Security's run out. You pedal away, son, pedal away.
So yeah, and then Ken Griffey Jr., I think because the guy that installed my DirecTV, he said Ken Griffey Jr. has 35 DirecTV boxes. If you have a box for each TV, it's 30. I'm like, 35 TVs. That seems, even though,
seems like a lot.
It seems like it's too much. Like, so anyway.
And you got a big house. And
I didn't know Britney Spears had
apparently, that was one of those things that apparently she has my pool guy apparently did Britney Spears' home.
Oh,
He
really?
did Joey Fatone's that's NSYNC. I think it's NSYNC. But yeah, he did Joey Fatone's and Britney Spears and Shaquille O'Neal's pool. So he used to tell me some stories and stuff about like their pools. Not that I want to go into it too much. Why not? I heard Britney Spears' pool, they always have parties there. Like he'd go there and there'd just be like beer bottles floating everywhere. And it was just like a complete disgusting mess. He said Joey Fatone's pool, it's something as silly as this. He said he's had a leak in it for years. And they're constantly having to like refill the water and redo the salt and just stuff. He never wants to get it fixed. It's constantly leaking. But it's the stuff you learn from pool guys. So I know about Joey Fatone's pool and Britney Spears and Shaq's pool. So if you move down to Florida, you can learn stuff like this as well. You could be like Jason and kayak and go by Shaq's house, and you can learn about people, stars, and the pools that they own and the parties they have.
I like that. I should have done that for my neighborhood. When the only person you know who Mike Golick is?
Yes.
So he used to live in Hunters Creek, and this is way back when people used to go to video stores and rent movies. He owned a video store in
really?
Hunters Creek. Then he came out and retired. But anyway, so I don't mean to cut you off there with going through the I like these stories here.
Yeah, I ran out of people, but it's always cool to kind of hear about these people. Like I haven't run into them yet. Like apparently, again, Shaquille O'Neal moved, but apparently Shaq used to go into the same Chase Bank that I go to.
Oh, really?
I had a friend who worked there, and she said like he used to come in all the time and say hi to her, and he was like really nice guy. He seems like he's a down to earth guy, but like he used to go to the same bank literally less than a mile from my house.
So I guess a couple questions since you've been here 6 years. So have you noticed traffic has changed a lot in the 6 years because there's more people? No?
Not much. I haven't found that traffic's like gotten. You would think that with all of the houses come in, like traffic's got much worse, but there hasn't been like, there's not really a ton of traffic around here.
That's amazing, man. That's because I mean, in my area, the traffic just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it's odd because I mean, you tell me stories about the traffic by you, and it seems like it's much worse than here. Like there's not a ton of traffic around here. If you go on Disney property, there's not always lots of traffic on Disney property either. But yeah, like around where I live, there's not really a lot of traffic. I'm picturing all the shopping places are going by. Ty lives nearby as well. Like driving to Ty's house, there's never really much traffic to get there.
And then
when schools are letting out or they're starting.
So when you first moved here, were both of your kids in elementary or one?
Yes, both were in elementary.
And then did they stay in that same elementary, or a new one kept getting built and you had to?
We got lucky. The year we moved in, they had just opened the. It's you know where I live. You know the area right around the corner. There's Bay Lake Elementary, and that's where they went. That elementary school opened August the year we moved in.
Oh, okay.
So that was a brand new elementary school. Like everybody who went there had never been to that school before. So that was a brand new school. Like they would have gone to a place called Sunset Park, but because they opened Bay Lake Elementary, that's where my kids went together. So luckily they have not really had to switch schools. Like
okay.
And
then like your one son right now in
one's now in middle school,
and he can ride the bike.
Yeah, my son in middle school rides every day. The high school, because that's probably about 2 miles from the house. He rides his bike, and there's bike paths and everything. And my oldest son just started high school, and so now he's actually going on the bus for the first time, because we used to walk to the elementary school, and then he used to ride his bike to the middle school. But now the high school's 5-7 miles away, and no bike paths. It's right on the main road. So
and everything's going smooth with that.
Everything's going smooth so far. Yeah, it's early on, but. Everything's going smooth with school and everything, and he's enjoying it so far.
That's another nice thing about there. I mean, that's why I like my area. Kids can take the bus or walk to school, ride the bike. So that's good. So if they're looking to move to Windermere, Scott's the man to answer your questions.
Questions, perfectly fine with me.
And you can live near him and do food reviews with him.
Yes, you can. You can buy me stuff and I will eat it in front of you. I don't mind. I have no shame.
If you have any questions on that, go directly to Scott on Windermere.
I will say that the fries I had last week were from a friend of ours who we went there and we were in line to buy it, and she was really sweet, and she actually bought the French fries for me and treated us for the fries. So
oh, nice. Very nice.
I'll always accept free food.
Nice. Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Be sure and hit the like button. Be sure and hit the subscribe button, and come back next week.
Thank you so much. And again, feel free to always write in the comments. We love seeing your comments, so hope to see you in there.
If you're already Scott's neighbor, let us know.
Yeah, that works as well. Thank you.